All right, so had a friend on my friends list on YouTube ask me. I don't know if he wants to know me to tell his name. Doesn't really matter, but I'll just say somebody, whatever. He says, "I am just here to ask if you will make any general comment video about the new Webbot report that came out this weekend. I just finished it. I have to take it slow and found the following the most interesting. The space goat's farts just gave me a headache." I don't know why the Webbot people, or guy, Cliff, decided to use that as a category in their reporting. In other words, anything that's in outer space and kind of out there in the far out realm of things, or the woo-woo as they call it, he labels space goats farts. Anything with that, sun activity, solar activity, whatever. And I don't know why it sounds ridiculous when you're reading a report and have to mention that word. The space goats farts entity, blah blah blah. It's just it makes you almost embarrassed. But anyways, he wrote a few things that interested him, and he brought up a couple of good or several good points in the new report that he wanted me to comment on. So I said, yeah, I think I will make a video about that. And this report came out on Monday. November tipping point, the powers that be, satisfaction with efforts peaks. And then rioting in Italy. I guess, what the powers that be are trying to do. I mean, they're on full force right now. There's no stopping. They're not backing down from anything. They're, balls to the wall right now with what they're doing. It's obvious. Look at all these things happening all at once. I mean, it's amazing. But it's as if they've reached a satisfaction point, according to the reports. Because they're satisfied doesn't necessarily mean things are going their way, as the rest of the report talks about. So they may be satisfied at first with some things they've got passed or whatever the case may be, but they may as well not hold their breath because it doesn't end well for them. Rioting in Italy, I really can't really comment on that, although there's going to be rioting pretty much everywhere in some shape or form or another due to the global collapse of the economy. The unemployment number is out today or whatever, 500,000 for the past 3 weeks. Each week has been higher and higher and higher, and supposedly this week was the cream of the crop, highest reported so far. And these things all cause rioting eventually. It all leads that way. If you don't know, go research history. Go look at every revolution. Go look at every overthrow of a government and see what elements were in there that were in place before that event occurred. And you will see everything that we're doing in this country and in London, England, everywhere else, the EU, is the same. And it's all going to end the same way. Would you argue that the sun cycle, the sun's not going to go down tonight and then reappear in the morning? Would you argue that? No. Why? Because you see that cycle every day. You know darn well it's going to happen. It happens thousands of times in your lifetime. This cycle doesn't usually happen in most people's lifetimes. So people tend to scratch their heads and say, well, maybe that won't happen. But the history books are right there. Go read it. It's there. Post-September equinox, food shortages, and climate change with effects. Displaced populations lasting a year. July 2011 through July 2012 will be like winter for all that time in the northern hemisphere. One thing they've been saying, and this is not the first report they've said this, was that we're going to reach a point, and I believe it starts this year, right now. And it is basically 2 seasons. You're not really going to notice a spring, and you're not really going to notice a fall. Maybe a tiny bit, but it won't be meaningful whatsoever. It's pretty much going to go kind of from summer to winter, summer to winter. And as you've seen, we've had some places had record-breaking cold just this past winter, 2010, and then right after that, other places in the same country, and specifically in this case the U.S., as well as a lot of other places, had record-breaking heat that topped the charts since they've been recording heat temperatures for 150 years or whatever, or longer. So this happened this year. So it was an extreme. So when you have extremes like that, it is probably safe to say the one in the middle, which is spring and then fall, may not happen. And signs are appearing that way. But anyways, that's been in the data for a long time too. They got in a little more detail with it in this last report. There's going to be some absolutely freezing places to be. I'm in Florida. I'm fairly close to the equator. I don't like the fact that I'm so low due to water rising and stuff, but I feel like I need to be here, and that's, I guess, where I'm going to stay for now. A non-terrestrial human cousin, which was originally labeled Cousin Alexei, will be videotaped escaping fall 2010 to spring 2011. Now, I realize I just said there's not going to be a spring and a fall, but obviously the date still applies. You know, spring of next year is still spring of next year. Whether it feels like spring is another story. So this is going to happen, and he'll go public and be videotaped sometime in the summer of 2011. Again, the webbot may get the dates wrong, but it's still in the data. And if it's still in the data, they have to report as if it's going to happen again. It didn't go away as a miss, where they said, oh, we got that wrong, like an earthquake or something. No. It's still in the data. They're still reporting it.